It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Today's a sad moment for Ash vs. Evil Dead fans. It is the series finale. And before I even do the review for this, the last episode, for the final episode, I just want to get a few things off my chest, if I'm allowed to. I would like to say that, first off, the Evil Dead franchise has always been my favorite. My number one favorite movie ever was Evil Dead 2. And I remember when the Evil Dead remake came out, it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same without Bruce Campbell being in it as, Ash Williams. And when Ash vs. Evil Dead finally came out, it was awesome. Like, I remember I was so excited. I had goosebumps when I saw the trailers. With this whole issue with Stars getting rid of it and their reasons, I would like to just kind of debunk a few of them. First off, they say that the reason why they want to get rid of Ash vs. Evil Dead is because of, everybody pirating. The fans are pirating, Ash vs. Evil Dead, and they're losing money and all this left and right. Well, listen, we all know that's bullshit. Stars, I think, really sabotaged the show. And by me saying that, and the reason, just hear me out before you, go, ready to know the hell you're talking about. Listen, they put Ash vs. Evil Dead season 3. They said if this has a lot of fans, we'll have a season 4 and whatnot. And everybody was on board. I remember when people were saying, like telling their friends, you better not, pirate this, I want this. It had fans like basically going against each other because of the whole pirating issue. But the problem is though, is that they put Ash vs. Evil Dead in the same time slot, the same day, the same time slot to go against The Walking Dead. Yes, The Walking Dead. Like literally, they were going head to head with The Walking Dead. Now, granted, The Walking Dead is losing fans left and right because of the storytelling with the seasons and all that. But The Walking Dead has they have like a huge fan base in comparison to Ash vs. Evil Dead, and that's sad. Because Ash vs. Evil Dead, in my opinion, is a lot better than Walking Dead. But the whole situation is that it went head to head with Walking Dead. And not many people were tuning in because you figure, you're paying for basic cable, you're getting AMC no matter what. But Stars, you have to pay extra. And those people who actually got the Stars app thinking that they, could save the show, it wasn't working. They weren't going by the app, they were going by the ratings. That is my theory upon it. And if you guys disagree with me or agree with me, you can always hit that like button, comment down below. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit that little bell icon. That way you guys are well notified upon any videos that I post. But let's get the review of the series finale started. Thank you guys so much for actually letting me vent that out. So let's get this whole thing started though. All right, so Ash vs. Evil Dead. It is the final episode. It sucks, man, but I gotta get through this. I apologize. The final episode of Ash vs. Evil Dead, honestly, it was amazing. Put it this way, if you're gonna ask me in my review, you already know that I'm gonna give it a high rating. But the fact is that I could tell that with this episode, they spent a lot of money making, this episode. I mean, you got the military there, you got that big ass deadite that's tearing the town in Michigan, and it's also showing that Ash's daughter is actually becoming more and more like her father. We learned that from, as the episodes progressed, especially last week's episode, she was just like Daddy's little girl, like being exactly like him. But also what you found out in this episode was the fact that Pablo found a way to get Kelly back, which is awesome because, the fact is that Kelly, I think, is the most badass character in Ash vs. Evil Dead besides Ash Williams himself. Nobody can really top Ash. Come on, who are you kidding? Anyways, though, with this episode, it basically has Ash, first off, doubting himself and saying, like, why me? And, I don't want to fight this anymore. And who could blame him after all the hell that he's been going through from, Evil Dead 1, 2, all the way to Ash vs. Evil Dead, storyline. He's been through a lot. And you just finally saw him breaking down. And I thought that was kind of important in a way. Of course, Ash is the man, I mean, people always say those Chuck Norris jokes, like, oh, Chuck Norris can do this, do that. Listen, Ash Williams can kick Chuck Norris's ass. The episode was really good. You know, the ending, I know I saw a lot of people actually writing about the ending. And everybody has to remember, Evil Dead, the whole franchise, it never had a complete ending. It always had that cliffhanger ending where it made you think about, exactly what was gonna happen to Ash, or you know what his surroundings were. So in this ending, basically Ash fights the huge creature dead on, like the big Godzilla type creature. Like that creature looks sick, insane. Like they were basically finding out that with the military attacking this creature was getting stronger, getting bigger, and everybody was, you know, leaving the town because it was about to be nuked, because that's the government thing. You know, that's the popular horror government thing. They did it in a lot of horror movies. But Ash decided to stay behind and fight it. When Ash decided to put the Kandarian blade in the big missile and launched it from the tank and it actually destroyed the creature. But of course, Ash, you know, fell and all things happening, and Ash blacks out, and all of a sudden it opens up with Ash waking up in the future. You know, you got this hot cybernetic chick that's waking him up, and she's revealing that his car's all decked out. And like, you know, the world looks like it's apocalyptic, kind of like Mad Max kind of situation. But she's like, I'll explain it to you when we get in the car. And then, you know, she's like, how do you feel? And he's like, groovy. And it ends like that. Honestly, you know, I hate to break it to the fans, but they did have an idea. Like there was rumor that the creators did have an idea for season 4, was to continue that story, to actually have Ash in the future and explain what happened to his daughter, what happened to Pablo, what happened to Kelly, what happened to everybody else, and like how far in the future as well, because you know we don't know exactly how far like he's been sleeping. And they had the idea of having robots versus deadites, like that's what their main focus was. But if you figure that's a lot of, you know, revenue, a lot of money for Starz to shell out. And if, like I said in the promo, if Starz is not willing to actually help out Ash vs. Evil Dead, you know, they're going to self-sabotage it, put it that way. I think that's another reason why they, you know, my theory of self-sabotaging falls into play. Every episode is brutally awesome. There has not been one sleeper episode. That's what I loved about Ash vs. Evil Dead, is that there's no sleeper episodes. There's no episodes that make you feel like you wasted your time and you had to deal with a whole bunch of story and blah, 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 and da-da-da-da-da, like, you know, like some shows. Yeah, you know what shows I'm talking about. I like to say I had a lot of fun watching Ash vs. Evil Dead. I loved it. Every episode, I wanted more and more. I think like the only thing I hated about the episodes is that they were very short. And also the fact is that, you know, it's like a drug. It's like making you want more and more and more. And you're like, ah, you know, so I recommend anybody who has not seen it, just watch it. You will not regret it. And if you watch this video and you actually watch Ash vs. Evil Dead and you like it, come back and actually comment and say thank you, Red Ace. You know, that's all I want. Anyways, though, have you guys actually seen the last episode of Ash vs. Evil Dead? Let me know in the comments down below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share the video, share is caring, and hit that little bell icon. That way you guys can get notified upon future Red Ace videos. I gotta get going though, guys. I like to thank you guys so much. I like to thank, you know, Bruce Campbell, you're the man. I like to thank every single person who made Ash vs. Evil Dead to entertain us. And that's about it. I gotta get going though. From the past, the present, and for the future. Keep it brutal. Matter of fact, nah, hashtag that. Keep it brutal. See you guys later. Thank you very much.